Welcome to WOM Land.
What a wonderful day.
Truly.
I mean, truly, we are all gas, no brakes right now.
Yes! Welcome to WOM.
Thanks.
Dude, I don't know if you can tell, but I have my toes out because it's summer in Birmingham, Alabama.
I have my thighs out.
That's right.
The sun's out.
Truly.
Man, hey, well, guys, welcome to Word of Mouth. This is a podcast where we use our mouths. And today, we're going to be discussing things. I'm Myers Allen. I'm co-host of today's podcast. Who are y'all?
Well, we actually have a separate podcast. It's called White Men Who Yap.
Yeah.
Less successful than word of mouth. That's why
Right.
we're trying to get a good start.
So you've been on 2 podcasts then, Ethan? Oh, sorry. This is your third.
This is my third podcast debut. I did.
What other podcasts have you been on, Ethan?
I debuted
Podcast
on
extraordinaire,
a
Ethan
podcast in League City, Texas, called something about parenting boys.
Oh, wow.
That's a catchy name. Something about parenting boys.
About parenting boys.
I'd listen.
I would
if I
listen
had
to
a
that
boy.
if I had
I was
boys.
the guest.
I'll listen in a few
I was
years.
the guest boy.
How old were you?
I was like 17.
Oh.
Wow.
So I've been parented. That's why I was.
Wow.
But like we said, it was Dr. Phil style, where you bring on like a bad kid, to talk to the host. Yeah,
Right.
I got in full.
I freaking hate you, Mom. The whole time.
You play too many video games.
Luke, how many podcasts have you been on?
I've been on one podcast
Okay.
outside of this,
Okay.
and it was
Which
through
one?
Discord.
Oh, cool. We love Discord.
streaming.
I was on my buddy's movie podcast. He lives in Melbourne, Australia,
Wow.
and so
Does he have an accent?
he does.
That's cool.
Yeah,
How do
he
you
has
have
one of those
buddies
radio then, or no, that's England. He has one of
I
those.
think radio is
Tuesday.
Australia.
What? Radio?
Tuesday in it. That's
Yeah.
British.
Yeah.
Radio then is Australian, right?
What are you saying? Radio then?
Radio then.
You know when British people are like, radio then, I'll be having that now.
I have never heard that in my life. Radio then.
Radio then, yeah. Fish and chips in it.
I definitely in it. That's a I feel like that and at the end of everything is like such an Australian thing.
I wish I knew. I don't. So like I can tell the difference between Southern USA and Northern USA accents.
Yeah.
I can't differentiate where these accents in England are from, but I know that there's like the really raspy, like this kind of British. It's like a working man, and then there's like the Queen's English. It's very proper and you know, a lot more enunciated. And I don't know the differentiation between the two, but I just think of like Queen's English as Northern and like the raspy.
I think it's funny whenever British people talk about it, because I listen to all these like Premier League like podcasts and stuff, and they make fun of each other's podcasts. Make fun of each other's accents sometimes.
That's funny.
And they refer to them as like geographical. They're like, oh, you're from the North Hills.
Yeah.
It's like it just means like you're from Birmingham or like Newcastle or something like that. They're like, oh, you're from the lowlands of the South.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Sunderland.
All of our British listeners are like, oh my gosh, these idiots.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys know that we have 1 billion monthly listeners?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
That's like a seventh of an eighth of the globe is going to hear you talking.
All right, quick math. Oh, wait. Today's generic podcast, quick math. What percentage of the world is 1 billion people?
Ooh, okay.
7.
And 3, 2, 1, go.
7.
7 times 7 is 49.
Wait. Percentage.
So
100 divided
40,
by 7
40
is 14%. Oh, you were close. Ethan wins. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
the crowd goes wild.
so 2 new guests.
Uh-huh.
Well, we haven't really talked
Thanks
about
for
who you
having
guys
me.
are.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan, tell me, what does it take to be Ethan Speights on a day-to-day basis?
Takes, let's see, this morning, rolled out of bed, start my day with a 15-minute pep talk in the mirror.
Okay.
Some screaming.
Okay.
But yeah, put my pants one leg at a time. Just like
So what you're saying is you're just a man.
Okay, so
Just a man.
one roll, 15 minutes, including of some screaming, 2 legs and pants. That's what it takes to be Ethan Speights in today.
In today's culture.
Those 3 things. And then he also
50 years ago would have been different. But.
Right. Right.
Got into
Times have changed.
got into a 1-ton box of metal and drove
There
at
you go.
absolutely
That's all I've done for my
crucially
day.
dangerous speeds all the way over here.
Probably a
That
couple
doesn't
tons.
matter though. 2 legs and pants,
Yeah.
important.
Nice.
Well, we're both from Texas, and so we were talking on the way over here about just like how different it is driving in Texas compared to Birmingham,
Right.
Alabama in general. Just like they want you to get lost here,
Right.
unlike any other
true.
state.
That's
It's
right.
like they want you to wander into some like Narnia land with the wrong turns you're making. Like you'll make wrong turns in a neighborhood. How is that possible? You know, like
Right.
in Texas, it's just like straight road,
Right.
another straight road. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's real windy here.
It's a lot more.
The Beatles wrote a song about it.
Yeah, a lot more windy, a lot less grid.
I love the Beatles song about
The long and winding road.
urban design.
Yeah, we love talking about civil engineering here. But before we get into that segment, Luke
Yeah.
Becker, please tell us,
Come on.
what does it take to be Luke Becker on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I'm just any other guy, like Ethan said. But man, you wake up with confidence, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't just try to roll out of bed. I try to like jump out of bed,
Wow.
you know?
Are you doing one of those like kip ups where you like put your hands behind your head and then you just like
Yeah.
fling
I
up
try-
out of bed?
I
feet
try
first.
to complete or attempt some sort of gymnastics move out of bed.
Right.
He lays his pants
yeah.
next to him, so he jumps into his pants.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
You put your pants on
like
2
he-
legs at a time.
I keep them on like a little clothesline at the end of my bed so I can jump and just land in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not but a man.
Yeah.
You're more than a man.
You chose a clothesline for that?
I couldn't think quick enough to think of another tactic, but there's definitely smarter tactics.
The
there.
weakest structure on earth to jump full fledged.
He has to replace the twine every day.
Sometimes he'll call me in to help him out because he's all twisted up. And
Yeah.
Hanging from the
So it's
ceiling.
not always a successful maneuver.
Right.
Getting into those pants 2 legs at a time.
Right. No, but I've actually recently, on a real note, started cold showering.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen this or read this.
Is this a bit? Or are you being
No.
serious?
I'm
Oh,
cold.
okay.
I'm cold showering nowadays.
Wow.
And it does wake you up.
Yeah.
My dad was doing it, and so I was like, oh, "Come on, be a man." You know,
Impress your dad.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
I start doing the cold showers. You know,
Right.
And it works. I mean, that thing will wake you up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad loves me, so I don't have to worry about cold showers in the morning.
Myers takes piping hot showers.
The
I
heat
can
of your
enjoy my
shower
morning.
water direct correlation to love of father.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's no coincidence that I'm in there screaming college football stats. It's like cold shower. But no, we'll get there eventually.
Who's your dad a fan of in football?
The Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That's great. You're just in there. You're like, I hate Iowa. I hate Iowa. I don't know who their rival is.
2009, Rex Burkhead, 200 rushing yards. No, but on a real note, I love my dad. He's an awesome guy. Yeah.
On a real
Crazy cool guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, I feel like the one thing I'm realizing about Texas is rarely do 2 generations in a row stay there. So your parents probably aren't from there, and y'all probably won't live there again. But everybody from Texas loves Texas, which I think is interesting. Are y'all's parents from there?
I was my whole family's in Kansas, and so we kind of like broke away from the pack.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was like the one wagon in the Oregon Trail that like diverts. You know, like that was us with our
Oregon
family.
Trail.
Yeah.
1985.
1985, yeah. But yeah, no, my whole family's in Kansas still, kind of, except for like some, like we have some family in Atlanta. But yeah, for the most part, all in Kansas. I was born in Kansas City. My parents are both from Kansas, and then they've been in Texas for like 18 years now. And
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. You think you're going to go back after school?
I don't know. I mean, they definitely try to put the hard sell on me. Like, there's a great job market, and I'm like, you know what post grads want to hear. Great job market. Shoot, yeah. But at the same time, I love it out here. I don't know. I don't know if I could go back.
I don't know. I would argue there's a decent job market here. So
yeah, exactly.
People do work for a living.
Yeah,
there are jobs everywhere you go.
Yeah, if you think about it,
which not a lot of people know.
But Dallas,
not that many people know, but people work in Birmingham. It's crazy.
Before we jump past this cold shower thing, I do want to talk more about Texas after that. One thing I just remembered that I forgot to say was I read an article the other day that people are using cold plunges to get unaddicted from caffeine. It's a caffeine supplement because it wakes you up so much. Yeah. And the feeling, I think, like, are y'all cold plunge people?
See, that's like
in the ocean? Or what do you?
No, I'm talking about like people who like ice bath, like that whole. That's like a world.
Yeah,
people do that like every day.
I don't.
There's like a certain temperature in the water that like dictates like it is a polar plunge versus like just like a cold. Whatever it would be. I don't know what the opposite or like what the threshold is, but it's like 34 degrees or something like that. But if you go underneath that, there is like an element of shock that your body goes into that lasts like a long time because of chemicals.
That's crazy.
I think it's fascinating.
That makes sense though.
It does. Like I've done it before, and genuinely, like I went on like a whenever I was in North Carolina last time, Cameron and I, shout out Cam, friend of the pod there, but Cam and I went on a run, and it was a longer run. It was like 4 or 5 miles. Longer run for me. I know that y'all probably run like 18 miles a day, but 4 or 5 miles is a long run for me. We get back, and then I thought it was going to be a horrible idea. It was cold outside, and then we get in here, and then he was like, you have to do 60 seconds. And I was like, 60 seconds, no big deal. Got in there. I'm not kidding you. Like 8 seconds in, I was like, I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I ended up lasting 60 seconds, and it was unreal.
Beast.
It was like
he's like that.
I got out of the bathtub, and it was like I was warm like immediately, even though it was like cold outside. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was a crazy experience. I'm not gonna lie. So the cold shower theorem.
Yeah.
I'm a backer. I'm a part of the scientific method.
Yeah. Steven just wanted us to know that he's that guy.
Yeah, I've done it one time 9 months ago, and I am that dude for it.
That guy. I would definitely do it. I don't have room in my 700 square foot apartment for a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Also, my shower doesn't get that cold. Maybe I should start.
You got a bathtub?
Showering.
What are you talking about? There's one already in there.
It doesn't have a plug.
Easy fix, bro. You just get any piece of rubber.
Also, how do I get it that cold though? How do I get it that cold though?
Ice bags.
Buy ice. I should buy ice.
That's literally what Cam did. Cam literally he got his ice kid like thing from his fridge and literally just dumped the whole thing in there. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I just got owned.
You gotta want it.
I just got owned.
Yeah.
I guess I don't want it that bad. Ethan, do you think you'll ever go back to Texas?
I don't think I'll go back. My dad is actually like 4th generation Texas.
Let's freaking go.
Wow.
Is he
Defying
branded?
the odds. He is branded, much like a frat tat.
Oh, nice. That was a joke. He actually is branded.
Or he's like 4th generation, like Aggie.
He's a Gigam Aggie.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Whoa.
He's a little
You
A&M
broke the cycle.
brand. He did. I did break the cycle. Yeah.
You did.
My dad didn't want me to go there anyway. Though.
Really?
I didn't even apply.
Wow.
So.
Huh. That's actually
But I
crazy
won't
because
go back.
A&M people freaking love A&M. Why did he not want you to?
Well, Jacob, my brother, went to Sanford, and then he realized how great Sanford was, and how
Like your dad did.
Yeah, my dad did. So
Ethan's dad also saw that Ethan has a history of getting too into things, and so he was worried that he'd become like too much of an Aggie.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
Which I feel like
Join
that's
the
definitely
cult.
possible. I mean, I don't know very many people from Texas A&M,
It's wild.
but everybody I know from Texas says that it's like
It's bad.
it's like Auburn but worse. It's like people in Auburn like freaking love Auburn. They're like AU family, but Texas A&M, it seems like people go there, and then nobody even knows how bad it is because they just don't even talk to anybody else. In the outside world.
Thank God that Alabama people are not like that, you know?
University of Alabama is the strangest place in the world. I literally think about that. Every single time I smell cigarettes or smell alcohol or see like a dirty patch of grass, I think this is like Tuscaloosa.
It's always I struggle
dig to
to understand why people who did not go to Alabama can be so infatuated with it. Because the two grown men that I work with have shrines
with their sports
to Alabama in their offices, and neither of them went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't go to college. And Alabama is like
That's wild.
all that they want to talk about.
You know, it is a fascinating thing. I'm sure you could write like a really interesting paper if you did a bunch of research on that, like why it is that male adults like over 40 in Alabama. I'm not gonna lie, like white males in Alabama over the age of 40, like I bet like 90% of them have like a unknown like weird obsession. Like they don't know that it's weird obsession with either Alabama or Auburn. I bet there's only 10% of them that are chill.
And the amount of people that also probably think Nick Saban legitimately holds like governor like level power in the state of Alabama.
He's the president of Alabama.
Like he could write legislation. They'd just be like, cool.
They'd be like, hey, it's Nick. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm
He's
not
a great
gonna
leader.
lie.
He's a great man.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not far from that man. Like I mean,
Did you see the touchdown of
did you see
2012?
the onside kick call? No, but it was like that also has to do with like who's in office in Alabama right now. It's a pretty low bar. I mean,
that's fair.
I'm not really that far away from thinking that Luke Becker could write policy for.
Hey, thanks, man. I'll whip up some policy.
That's right. Come on, man.
Can
Okay,
I
so
get
like,
Luke Becker and Whit Grooms to write the next
Come on.
next policy for Alabama?
I feel like we can keep talking about Texas because I know Texas people love Texas, but I feel like everybody kind of has a fascination with it. So let's go here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a Dallasite and we have a Houstonite
Come on.
on the podcast right now.
Concrete jungle.
So just like go at it for a little bit.
Oh, we've had
Go
some
at it.
we've had some beef in the past.
Are y'all like?
Yeah.
Are y'all
Houston
like?
guys hate Dallas and Dallas hates Houston.
What do y'all think about Austin?
I think they both feel the same way towards it. That's, I think.
I don't
know.
I don't touch it. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
I never grace the land of. I don't want to go.
I went.
You don't want to go?
Well, I've been there once, and I vaguely remember it. And my dad said, "We're not going back." And I said, "Okay."
like it's
Fine.
Disney World or
It's
something.
been like ingrained into me.
Wow.
You know, to like keep my.
What
ground
about
in
like
Houston.
San Antonio?
I like San Antonio.
Yeah,
I've heard great things. I've heard that
pretty
San
awesome.
Antonio and Austin are both growing so fast that they're starting to like the metro areas are starting to like merge in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even
Really?
though they're like I think they're like as far away as like Montgomery and Birmingham. They're like they're only like 2 hours away or
Really?
an hour and a half away from one another. But there is a suburb in the middle of it called I can't remember. It's a super Texas name. It's like something ranch. I don't know.
Duluth or something. Yeah.
It's like freaking Cowpoke.
Decatur Ranch.
Cowpoke, Texas. Like is
Sarsaparilla.
Amarillo 2.
Yeah.
But
Drop the sequel.
But there was some company like Google just opened up office there or something,
Yeah.
so people could live in San Antonio or Austin, and like they could choose which city they wanted to live in and commute to this town, which is fascinating to me.
I think it's because there's like no like state income tax, right?
Yeah.
Thing,
No
yeah.
state
Probably
income
that,
tax.
yeah.
Shout out no state
Yeah.
People don't
income
like
tax.
taxes, so they
Florida
move
and
to
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they did a state income tax, and Texans were just like,
not having it.
yeah.
I just don't understand. Like Texas has, granted, there's a lot of tolls. Texas has like across the whole state, like really nice roads in comparison to a lot of places I've been to in the country.
Yeah.
And it's relative in comparison to a lot of places
Fair.
I've been to in
Yeah.
the country.
Fair.
Like, because I've spent some time in Dallas and I've spent a lot of time in Austin because Gracie's from there. I've never been to Houston, so I don't know if that's like the truth there or not. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's crazy to me how nice. We're talking about civil engineering again, dang it. But it's crazy to me how
Engineering
nice like their civil engineering is for like the fact that they don't have state income tax. Like, where do they get money from?
The Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Just the Cowboys.
All
I
of
was gonna
West
say, there are
Texas.
lots of other taxes.
Yeah, Dallas
They
Cowboys
raked in
concessions and merch.
Yeah. The $1 trillion stadium paid off in a day.
right. Yeah, mostly that. I'd say. how the roads are so nice.
The highway near me though is the most like dangerous highway in the country. It's called
Wow.
45.
Wait, really?
Why
Like
is
seven
that?
or
Because you can
the speed limit's
whip
like
on that thing.
65, but people, if you're not going like at least 70, you're gonna get hit probably.
Whoa.
Dang.
It's like 85. Is
So like
kinda-
car wreck dangerous. That's
yeah,
what you're saying.
Yeah, car wreck
Yeah.
dangerous.
Wow.
People are going like super fast on it.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
super
really cool.
That is fascinating. One time I drove to
Civil
I did
engineering.
a out west I did an out west trip, and I went like up to Colorado, down through New Mexico, and then I went back and I went through El Paso.
Yeah.
Crazy place there. It's pretty much just Mexico.
It is.
And then I went to Marfa, and in between El Paso and I don't know if you've ever heard of Marfa, but it's like this in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of near like Big Bend.
The Prada store?
Yeah, the Prada store. And it's 5 hours from El Paso to Marfa, and it's 5 hours from Marfa to Austin. And Marfa's not anything. So it's essentially like it's in the dead middle of 10 hours of nothing. And the speed limit was like, I mean, I remember setting my cruise on 105.
that is so
Wild.
Because I was like, if I go any faster than this, my engine started being like loud, and I was like, I don't want to like break. But it was like speed limits were 90, and everybody that if you weren't going 100, you would just get like somebody would just go around you.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
it was nuts. It was like probably the most freeing, but that single 10-hour experience has made me hate roads everywhere else ever since. Because I'm like, why are we going? Like, why do I have to go 60 miles an hour right now in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's
they'll
so
get you down there. They'll
yeah, they
get you.
freaking will. They have the
get ya.
worst. They have the worst roads in the entire country.
They have the worst.
I
civil
think some
engineering.
of it has to do with like the earth underneath the roads and also with the weather. Because like in the desert, there's not much changing underneath.
That's fair.
Like if you dig into, I guess maybe sand, but I feel like it's mostly just like caked
Sandstone.
sandstone. Yeah. Whereas here it's like clay.
You don't know that.
Whatever it is.
Let me reference back to Minecraft real fast.
Yeah, so whenever you get through the first layer of terra, you get to
of lapis lazuli.
cobblestone. So once you get through the stone, you get to what's the other cobblestone that's like hardened at the bottom?
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
You're probably going to know better than I do.
You talking about marble?
They've done so
no,
much
no.
since I was. They've done so many updates to Minecraft since I was.
Oh, you're
11.
talking about Minecraft.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Earth's core.
How many kids do you
Bedrock.
think?
Bedrock. It's bedrock.
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 How many kids do you think when they update like the materials underground in Minecraft think that they're updating the actual Earth?
Dude, I was talking
direct
to
correlation.
Probably some kids actually. Think
I was
that.
talking to Cole the other day. Edens. Shout out Cole. You know the guy we were talking about the other episode that thought that Tracy Chapman's song "Fast Car" didn't exist.
yeah, we have to
he
correct
definitely thinks that. He didn't know that was a single. He texted me about that literally to make
that's
sure
tough.
that.
Yeah, we might have to have like a highlight on our Instagram that's like corrections of when we say things about people that are wrong. Because we get texts like every other episode from like my sister or something that's like, "Yo, you said this and that's just like not true at all. I don't think that. I don't believe that. I've never done that." I'm
Like, we're gonna get a
"Sorry."
text from some Minecraft fiend. They're like,
Right.
There hasn't been that many updates since 2014.
Yeah.
It's the toll of being famous.
Truly.
When you have a
Email from
billion
Mojang.
followers, you're gonna make some people upset. You know.
14% of the Earth is listening to you.
Right.
But anyways, Cole does middle school. Like he hangs out with middle schoolers because his job is like middle school ministry.
Come on.
And he was saying that he was asking them like, "Yo, does anybody play FIFA anymore?" And he was like, "No." Like literally nobody plays FIFA. FIFA just got sold to 2K, by the way, which I thought was crazy. Because
That's
FIFA,
big
whenever we
merger.
were in high school, like people played NCAA and like Madden, but nobody really played Madden. A lot of people played FIFA whenever I was in high school, though.
Yeah.
That was like a thing. Even though not many people were into soccer, they were into FIFA.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was like, nobody plays. These kids were like, nobody plays FIFA anymore. Everybody plays Fortnite and Minecraft. Those are the only two games. In this kid's
I think
opinion,
it's crazy
the
that
only two games.
Minecraft. I think it's crazy that Minecraft is still relevant. Like
Same.
20 years
I
after it
never
came out
played
or
it, so
something.
I don't get it. But it really seems my like cousins on their iPads play it, and I'm
Did
like,
y'all ever play it?
It's the only app I've never deleted off my phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
I never will either.
I feel like
so.
it's just like a facet of youth civilization now is Minecraft.
Like-
my sister plays it. She's 12. And then like I played it when I was 12.
There's
Yeah,
another
so-
Becker out there in the world.
I was going to
There's
say, I
more
didn't know that
backers,
there was
dude.
another one.
Wow.
3 other ones.
Yeah. But the one that often goes unknown by the Alabama crowd is
Well, it is the case that all
sister,
three of your brothers, including yourself, have all gone through Samford. So it makes sense that the one who would be forgotten is the younger one who hasn't gone through college yet.
right.
Okay, so as someone like myself or a listener who's never played Minecraft, like why is it popular? Like, because to me it seems like a stupid game. It's never seemed fun. It's never like it's never looked fun to me. But I've never played it though.
Yeah.
What made you want to play it?
One thing that's strange is it takes a really long time to do anything on there.
Yeah.
So that's something I don't understand why, even myself, why I would be like, I gotta get in there and build a house and get to the nether and do all this kind of stuff. Like, it would take literal days worth of hours to complete tasks. Like to build a house. Yeah. If you don't want to build a house out of like dirt, you have to go find the materials somewhere and stuff and then come back and build it.
And the fact that kids are willing to be like, go from like TikTok rot brain to like, I want to build the Acropolis.
Yeah.
And take 2 years to do it.
Yeah. I don't understand. That's a great question. I mean, to me, it was like a fun creative thing.
Yeah.
Because you get to like make stuff out of the world. But again, it takes so long.
I'm surprised kids still play it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
There
is
is
there like an
there is
online
like
format to it at all?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
can you play with
Yeah.
other people?
There are like
I never played online.
realms and stuff where
Right.
like people can start a server and people literally make money running servers and they like create games in it and stuff. Like you could go and play like Fortnite in Minecraft on someone's realm.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
it's nuts.
It's
Little
they,
Minecraftception.
it's
Wow.
there's a
That's
whole
too
world
much.
of like mods and stuff like that people do, but
That's insane.
there is like an actual sort of plot and story to it. It's like you start with nothing and then you have to get materials to then go to the nether and then you like get some materials from the nether so that you can go to the end and you like defeat the dragon at the end.
The Ender Dragon.
It's the age-old rags to riches story.
Right. So you get some
Tales old as
diamonds and
time.
then you're rich and then you go defeat
a great
Jeff
song.
Bezos.
That's insane. I accomplished that same thing that you were talking about. Tony Hawk, build your own skate park, and also skate. I played. Did y'all ever play
pro
skate?
skate?
There's like these guys at Stanford created a skateboarding game because they didn't like Tony Hawk like games.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's literally called they have Skate 1, Skate 2, and Skate 3.
Yeah. I played that.
Yeah. You can like build your own park in that, and then you can like ride around on it, and it's like absurd. And I feel like that's always. And then also, they knew, like when you make a park, you can put it online and anybody can ride it. And then they took the most famous like parks, like that were shared the most, and they put them on the game as well, and they were also like absurd. And so I feel like I got that fix like growing up. But Minecraft was around whenever. Like, how long has that game been out? Like forever.
I think like 2008 or something.
It's been a while.
Wow. Because it looks like it was made in like 1940.
Yeah.
Like,
That's another thing. The
megapixels.
graphics like haven't changed that much. What do y'all think? Did either of y'all play Minecraft?
Yeah. I played when I was young. I played on the phone though. I didn't play on like
Yeah.
PC.
The phone was always
now
like
do.
the worst one. It was like the
Oh,
last one to get updated.
Yeah.
The one had the least amount of stuff.
The only one I could afford. So.
I've never been a gamer though. I've like watched people play video games growing up, but like I was just never good at it, and so I was like, it's not really my thing. So,
But the
Same.
Wii, I never got into like Overwatch. I knew kids in high school that played Overwatch.
Yeah.
Not for me.
those kids ruled the school.
Truly.
Something
They'd
like that.
push me on the ground and spit on me.
Give me swirlies.
Ethan was getting bullied.
The Overwatch kids are here.
You don't play Overwatch? You're so lame. Yeah.
Wearing like their esports jerseys.
I never played video games. I was like really into Wii golf, like Wii Sports golf. But besides that, like I never.
What was your handicap?
I was pro. I definitely got to 2000 one time. I don't remember when. I also really liked, another weird thing is I used to sit alone in my home and play Wii bowling.
Here?
Oh man.
No, like growing up.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, like when Gracie's at work and he's just like doesn't want to talk to people. He's just,
Yeah.
Come on, more spin, more spin.
if I do it like this,
Yeah.
if I do it like this.
We're like so mad. We're like, isn't it stupid? We were like, why? Like, what the heck? I did it the same. It's like the sensor was probably like a $10 invention.
Yeah, no, it's probably like a really, really crappy sensor.
And you always had that family friend that was like, if you do it over your shoulder and then through the legs and then bounce it off of your forehead, it does like a 360. The ball does like a 360.
Like, no way.
And you're like,
And
no,
they get strikes every time doing it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, man. Golly.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, Texas, Houston, and Dallas. What do y'all think the biggest difference between Houston and Dallas is?
Ooh, okay. I just visited him over Christmas break, so I feel like I have a fresh. And then he visited me over spring break. And so I feel like
Oh, your house. So,
But you were.
Am I comparing Houston to your South Lake house?
When you're. when,
you went to
pretty
South
similar.
places.
yeah.
Oh, wait, I knew that. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot. You went to like an absurdly like prestigious athletics high school.
Right. Yeah. Which like is somebody who isn't inherently super athletic is a lot of
I was
pressure.
gonna say, your brother's like a freak runner and
Isn't it
stuff,
like-
but that's not really your thing.
There's like
Yeah.
20 Olympians and like
Right.
current Olympians and 2 NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that,
so
like, went to your high
Quinn
school.
Ewers, the quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, shout out Quinn Ewers, also joining the SEC.
Yeah, he
playing
listens.
Alabama this year.
He listens.
He
Shout
listens.
Shout out to our listeners. Over
He's
Texas
going.
Longhorns
Yes.
He's gonna comment on YouTube. Hey!
So no, I was like, I kind of grew up in school with him.
That's
And
crazy.
he's your age.
He's my age. He got held back a year, like in high school or something, because people get held back for football in Texas. That's
Yeah.
also another. I
Yeah.
don't know if they do that in Alabama.
No,
But yeah,
I don't know.
no.
Wait, he got held back like not in first grade. He got held back like in. He just did freshman year twice.
I think he did like, it was like right before high school, so he did like 8th grade twice or something.
That
but
is
it was
so
going,
weird.
That's crazy.
I know.
grade football?
Also, like news or like sports outlets might not know that little tidbit about Quinn Ewers, so you guys are gonna get like a huge,
Huge spike. A whole lot of
all the
sports
Quinn
there.
Ewers
House of
goss.
Highlights. Do you own this content?
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's like, I think it's just like everyone there is so good at sports specifically, but just like, it's like they say there's like a tradition of excellence there. Like that's like their tagline, you know? Which is a lot of pressure, but you know, yeah, they're a huge school, but like every school is kind of huge around there. So
That's fair. Yeah.
South Lake Carroll, come on.
Okay, so like how far away? Because I know like League City, you're like an hour 45 minutes from downtown Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how far away is South Lake from downtown Dallas?
It is probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
Like
So, but
20,
y'all are
25
both are
minutes.
like certified suburbs, like
Yeah.
of the
Technically,
city.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then let's start this way. What do y'all think the difference between like suburbia Dallas and suburbia Houston is, and then the actual cities too?
I have no idea what culture in South Lake is, but culture in League City is like craft beer and IPAs.
Come on,
That's like the pinnacle of League City is just a bunch of craft beer.
Wow.
let's go.
I really lived it up in League City.
The pinnacle.
Yeah, like craft beer and middle-aged dudes with beards.
A lot of guys asking you if that was oak, fermented with oak or spruce.
They say League City is the Portland of Houston.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Houston.
I
Right.
can't attest to that. It is.
Yeah, they say Avondale is the Portland of Birmingham, I think.
I hear that.
Do
Yeah.
y'all think that there's a weirder corner of Birmingham than Avondale?
No way.
I don't. I feel like there's no.
Yeah,
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I feel like this is the weirdest corner of Birmingham.
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel like it's funny whenever I tell people I'm from Crestwood. Like they'll always tell me this is where their like gay aunt or uncle moved in the 90s. That's always like their connection.
That's really funny. I've never heard that.
Yeah, my uncle that was making candles from scratch moved into this neighborhood.
Yeah, my grandma, she like really hated the Vietnam War. She lived in Crestwood.
Oh man, yeah, no. There, I feel like if you drop someone in Avondale and they'd never been to Birmingham before and they never left Avondale, they would have like a wildly different worldview than anybody else in Birmingham.
Yeah,
for sure,
Definitely.
for sure.
Definitely different, that's for sure. But League City's like IPA land. That's what you're saying.
Interesting.
IPAs and
on.
shopping centers. It's kind of
Okay.
the vibe.
Hold on. What do you think the height? What is the tallest building in League City, and what do you think its height is?
Ooh,
Ooh.
the Buc-ee's.
Probably Buc-ee's, if I had to guess.
40 feet tall.
My high school is anything. There's no like 3-story thing.
Wow. So it's like pretty
It's
low
like-
bar. If you make a
I guess like a
3-story
hospital.
building.
There's like hospitals and
5-story hospital.
the highest land elevation is like this really big hill by my high school that football players will run up. It's like
go.
15 feet high. It's like it's the highest
Elevation change of 25 feet.
It's like a tiny hill, and that's like the highest elevation in all League City.
I think that's why. I think part of why Birmingham is so windy is because there are big hills.
True.
Yeah.
There's no
And so
room
it's
for
harder to
lanes
like
of highway.
cut straight through a mountain. You know.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like through mountain tunnels like they have in like Switzerland or
Yeah.
you know. They
That would
kinda
be
just
really cool if
Go
they did
around
that.
them. Yeah. we should get that going.
We should get that
Well,
going.
yeah, honestly, for how many hills there are, it's kind of crazy. We don't have a single tunnel.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
what
tunnel
that
in
one-
Green Springs.
Yeah, I was just saying the one tunnel
one,
whenever
that's it.
you like go the back way through Homewood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually super. Yeah, whenever we were in, whenever I was in Europe, this is my first podcast since I went to Europe. Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wish there was a sound effect that was like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bazinga.
Nice job, dude.
Bazinga! This guy went to Europe. Would he shut up already? That's how I feel like everyone's thinking whenever I talk about this. But whenever we were in Salzburg, like it was
drop.
crazy. The fortress was like above the old city, and there was like a cliff face, and then the fortress was just on top in the tunnel to get to the other side of like the hill. I thought it was gonna be like super long, and it was like maybe 100 yards long. So this like fortress was on this like, I don't even really know how to explain. It was like this plateau that was like straight up, but it was only like 100 feet wide. I don't know how they did that back in the day.
It's crazy. We were watching this show called like Aerial Europe on Smithsonian when I was home. You guys should definitely get on that. Like,
Yeah, that sounds
take a drone.
Today's
and
episode
just
is brought
go
to you
over
by
countries.
Aerial's View.
Right, exactly. But it got like the conversation kind of going about like how they have so many nice things. You know how people are always like, there's cooler things in Europe. Like there's like all these cathedrals and stuff. I have a theory. I think it's because in Europe they had all their money early, and then they lost it all over time. So they built all this nice stuff like first, and then it just stayed there.
Yeah.
And then they all got like kind of poorer, you know, like the country.
Dang.
You know, I don't want to diss on Europe, but you know, and then
There's not many new nice things in Europe though.
right.
That's kind of true.
And then the U.S., I think the reason you don't see like those massive like structures is because we got all our money later.
Yeah, like in like
No,
early
yeah.
1900s.
Yeah, so we have like new nice stuff. They have old nice stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the wealth used to be concentrated amongst like the royal families.
Yeah,
And so they
right.
just had like everything, and everyone else had literally nothing.
Yeah.
So everyone else is dirt poor, but they were like, let's build another castle. 3 isn't enough. I need more space.
Isn't that funny? Like the royal family still lives in the same building that they built for them. Like
That's nuts.
in,
wild.
I don't know,
Hundreds
1400
of years
or something.
ago.
And then our royal family also still lives in the same building they built
Yeah,
for
our
them.
royal family.
Like whenever they were
King Biden.
has the White House been torn down
crazy.
since 17? Like
It was burned at one point, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like in
White House
they
Down.
built
Yeah,
it
yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
You're thinking of White House.
Yeah,
Down.
White House down. And Olympus has fallen too.
With Channing Tatum. I think he burned it or something.
Transformers?
Something like
Duh.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Transformers.
Oh no,
Shoot,
freaking
2008.
Evan Almighty. The flood that went through DC. Steve Carroll, legend. No, but I think it's fascinating how everything else in the entire country, every other home structure changes, but for royal families in every country, they stay in the same house.
Yeah.
And it's like why was colonial architecture was just like what was in at that point in like 1776,
I also think
and we still have it and preserve it.
population growth has increased exponentially a lot over the last few hundred years.
It always has been.
And as more
That's what they
people
say.
Go in on
grow,
this. I really like this.
as more people have children, and they grow up and they have children, you have to build houses to keep up. And
Yeah.
I think it's been growing so fast that we've just built houses as fast as we can, but then the quality's gone down.
Yeah.
True. That's fair.
And everybody today, like, you know, shout out to Dwight Eisenhower. Was his first name Dwight?
Yeah,
Sure.
president.
Shout out the Eisenhower plan, the new Deal, because they really did instill like mortgages, and every like privileged family got homes during that time at post Great Depression. But now like everybody has this like opinion that every single person should own like their own home like as soon as possible. And I feel like it's kind of like Eisenhower's plan worked for a while.
Yeah.
And it's really freaking us now. Like I feel like it's really hard to buy a house like where you want to buy it.
You also have like, I feel like you also have people that are like, I want a beachfront house for my family at 26, you know, where my kids could kind of run around, and we have like 2-3 acres as well.
Well, my parents who are in their 60s and have been working their whole lives, they have a lake house. So why can't I buy one 2 years out of college?
But yeah, dude, it's actually a thing though. I feel where like people, like young people right now who do have like nice houses, that's like in the family. Or like it's like being passed down, or like they got a good deal on it because they knew
somebody.
Yeah. Like you're not seeing people get good houses. Just from, you know.
Yeah, like literally. The other day, this lady, we were like doing our landscaping, and she was like, "Oh, y'all are really pulling it together." Gracie and I bought this house like a year and a half ago.
Come on.
And a girl that lives down the street. I can't remember her name. Dadgummit. It's something like Diorio or something like that. But anyway, she like pulled up. She was like, "Oh, it's really come together." Like blah blah blah. She was like, "Are y'all?" We gave her a rose bush that we were tearing out because we wanted to put a rosemary bush in. Yeah. Anyways, she was like super kind. She told me she bought her house in 1994 on this street for $24,000.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Which is just
That's
like
absurd.
Crazy.
That is.
Yeah. Like it was. I just don't understand. Like I feel like a lot of times it was like again like even until like the 90s. I don't know. Maybe it was like 2007 whenever it like exploded or what. I don't really. I watched The Big Short, but still don't really understand it.
I don't remember what Ryan Gosling said about that.
Yeah. The part where he's in the office and he's like, that part was riveting.
Yeah. For the audio listeners, Myers was just really locked in just now.
I was locked in, focused.
Really good Ryan Gosling impression.
Really great Ryan Gosling impression.
The only thing I remember that is Margot Robbie explaining to me some sort of A to C theory or something.
Right.
I don't remember
The famous scene.
That famous part.
But anyways, enough about that.
Enough yapping about The Big Short.
So now that we've talked about mortgages,
anybody still on?
Okay, so Houston and Dallas. Yeah. Okay, so we've heard about League City. What is and South Lake is like really popular. What about the actual, or not really popular, really successful, like you said?
Excellent. It's really excellent.
Yeah.
Super excellent.
So like, what do you think the main difference between like the cities' stereotypes are?
Oh, Dallas and Houston, like the actual like downtowns.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'll say this. I really like Houston. And growing up, I was kind of just like, Houston. I went to Houston once. I went to the Dave & Buster's. I left. It was kind of a one in, like a in and out mission, you know.
It is very representative of Houston because only Houston has Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
Not every other city.
And that was my first Dave & Buster's, and so I was like, it might as well be called Houston and Buster's because I've never been to one of these outside of Houston. But no, that was, and then I went over Christmas to see Ethan, and I'm a huge fan. I would say. Houston's like central, like walking area downtown, like the walkable part of it, is probably nicer than Dallas's.
I've only been to Dallas once.
Yeah,
and I went to the farmers market. So
okay, yeah,
I don't know if that's downtown.
Yeah,
I think the food is better in Houston.
They only have farmers markets in Dallas.
Yeah, they have that one farmers market.
Is Houston's stadiums in downtown, like their football and baseball, or is it like Dallas where they're like an hour away?
They're in downtown.
Okay.
Like the football, baseball, and the soccer stadium.
Is that where
Houston, like Metro Houston, is like huge. It takes like an hour to get from one side of downtown to the other side of downtown. Like technically.
Wait, like what's considered downtown?
Yeah, what's considered downtown Houston? It could take, I guess not space, but the traffic and how big Houston is. Right. There's like 3 loops that go around Houston.
And I would say
like 3 loops that go around the downtown, or 3
I guess
loops?
like 2 really that go around downtown.
That's crazy.
Like the big buildings.
The biggest similarity between the two is like talking about Europe, like, most of those like old big castles would put like moats around the kingdom,
Yeah.
so you couldn't get in, to block you from getting in.
Yeah.
Houston and Dallas have highway systems that kind of block
Honestly,
you from
like
getting
legit.
in. You can't get in.
That's kind of a good
Yeah.
like war ethic. Like maybe if somebody ever tried to like break war against America, if America could just tell everybody like if they could just like
Get
kinda,
inside of I-59.
no, like you just like make sure nobody figures out that somebody's coming into war and say they want to attack Dallas. You just let everybody do what they're doing as usual, and then it'll frustrate the heck out of everyone. They wouldn't be able to get anywhere. They literally would not be able to get anywhere in any major city.
Right.
Imagine in Atlanta
Like
trying
the
to get
Russians,
a tank.
the Russians would be like on the interstate, like trying
And the
to.
Dodge Chargers. It's like,
They tell everybody just ignore them when they ask for directions. Putin's like, so I'm trying to get to Kennesaw, and right now we're in Alpharetta.
you get on Google Maps. It's like
So you're gonna get on 400.
3 hours.
You're gonna go up north
Yeah.
400, get off on 27. That's gonna take
Just
you
don't
about
give the Russians
55
directions, and they won't get in.
in New York, you wouldn't be able to get literally in New York. You can't get anywhere at all in a normal like it was.
It's faster to just walk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most places.
yeah. Just make an agreement with like I don't know, freaking some country that would go against war. Well, I don't know I don't want to objectify a people group right now.
Canada.
Anyway, say
Either
like
China
Canada.
or Russia.
Say Canada does it. You just make an agreement with Canada. They would
Yeah.
never go against war with us. So this is definitely a hypothetical. And you're just making an agreement. You're like no planes. Only ground combat, but you're also not
Like you're
allowed
playing
to talk
Risk against them.
online at all. Nobody knows. It's like you wouldn't be able to make it past like whatever the metaphorical like Vestavia of like DC is. You just wouldn't be able to get in.
No, seriously. Have you guys been to New York? Has anyone been to New York?
Yeah, I've been there probably like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overrated, underrated.
Okay, so this is an interesting conversation because I like freaking love it.
Okay.
But I also totally understand, like when you say underrated, overrated. Like, what do you mean?
I'm saying like, okay, so you're watching like Elf,
Okay,
and you're
Steven loves to watch Elf, so this is very
Right.
applicable.
okay.
Myers is a Scrooge.
You're okay.
Myers
okay.
legit doesn't like. We're gonna talk about this when the podcast goes Christmas vibes.
Yes.
But like Myers genuinely doesn't like Christmas.
That's great. Well, I was
not
watching
true,
I was
but it's
watching your
okay.
guys'
We'll move on.
holiday episode,
I believed
and
it.
I saw this conversation play out.
Oh wait, did
there's-
we talk about this already?
Well, not probably in
Christmas
depth, but it came up a
Christmas is
little
my
bit.
favorite holiday,
Yeah.
but I don't like all the like Christmas movies and stuff. And then that makes Steven think that I hate Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. You're more of just like a bare bones, put the
I want to
nativity
sit
out,
down
sit
with
around
like
a candle.
I want to sit down
Yeah.
with hot chocolate and do a puzzle.
in
And
your
like-
nightcap
One day. That was
and
awesome.
gown.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
have
remember.
some.
I don't think Christmas would be your favorite holiday. I don't know what would be though. You don't
don't-
really get jazzed about holidays.
Not really. Maybe I
Anyway.
should.
Wow. Okay, so well, anyways, take the New York from like
So you're watching
Elf,
Elf,
right?
okay.
Yeah. And your face is pressed up against that TV as a kid.
Sure.
And you're just like, this looks like the most magical place ever. Like this city looks just so vast and sprawling. So
Okay.
like that New York.
So-
comparing it to that.
I would say so the first time I went to New York, I went in like January with like my family, and it was definitely just tourists. I was like 8. I don't really remember that one, but the next 2 times that I went,
Yeah.
I went with my family. Thanksgiving break, my sophomore and junior year of college. So I was definitely like old enough to like vibe with it. Like I like understood the whatever the
You were a
like the
competent
cool
person
parts about it or
who
whatever.
had
Yeah.
opinions about things.
Yeah, and like, but one of the reasons we went to Thanksgiving is because all the Christmas stuff was up already, and I have been like, I genuinely have had a night where I have like went to the Magic City Rockets Christmas show.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then like went to okay, so there's also, but I don't know. This is actually a super interesting conversation too, because one thing I realized is when you are on the main island, like when you're on Manhattan, everyone there considers everything on the island like touristy. You have to go off the island, or you have to go north of I think 100th Street,
Yeah.
like which is it starts at like 1 down at the bottom. So you have to go north of 100th Street, which is like way or north of the park for it to be like local. So this is like a weird take, but anyways, everybody goes to Central Park. Everybody there doesn't really go to Central Park because it's so packed and hard to get into. But there's one in like there's these like squares of parks like underneath Central Park that go all the way down the city. I think it's called like I can't remember the name. It's like Wright Park or something. But we always went to that one the 2 years that we went. But I've had a night where I've like literally like went ice skating, hot chocolate, Magic City Rockettes, and then like cheesecake.
Yeah.
Like the whole like New York
That's
night.
nuts.
And then like I've been to like Phantom of the Opera. I've been to like Wicked and Hamilton. Like I've done all like the New York like fun magical stuff too. And it genuinely is like it is insane. Like
It's like
I've done a tour of the towers, like the new tower with but we would go through this company where the guide was a dude who was in the tower. And when it got hit, he took the stairs all the way down, and then he was on the bottom floor when it collapsed. Yeah. And he like passed out, woke up. He was like in the rubble, and they like found him, and he got out. Yeah. Like it was absurd, and like that too. Like that was like super touristy, and that was also so cool. I think the Statue of Liberty is the biggest waste of time I've ever done. I think like the like Grand Central Station's also like cool to see, but it's another one of those things where it's like you're in there and you're like you don't really know what to do, so you just go to the Apple store that's in there and play with the iPads. It's like one of those things.
That's what I do.
The Oculus, which is this like new thing they built. Yeah, so there's a subway station that's like underneath the Freedom Tower. That one's like an absurd piece of architecture. It's just fun to like look at. Yeah. But this past time that we went, Gracie and I had both gone on like tourist trips before. Yeah. So the only tourist thing that we did was like, we went to Hamilton and we went to George Costanza's character. Oh shoot, what's his name? Frick. From
the actor?
Yeah.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, Jason Alexander. He directed his first Broadway show, or he wrote and directed his first Broadway show this past year. It was called The Cottage. We went to that and it was like genuinely hilarious. But besides that, we like never went to Times Square. Yeah. We just like stayed in like Brooklyn, and it was that was also just like that was like the coolest. I literally the only way I know I could explain Brooklyn in like Birmingham terms is imagine if like the coolest parts of Birmingham. So think like if Avondale was full of like if like June and Lady Bird and like all the cool things that are Golden Age, all the cool things that are spread across were all in Avondale, and it was the size of the entire city of Birmingham. Like it was, it's like it was there was like unlimited things to do. So I think cool. I think it's cool, but it's also like if you're like just going up there to shop and like and you're like I don't really know a way of saying it. Like you're like a normie.
Yeah, if you're just looking for a New York slice.
If you're just a person.
Yeah. My cousin Mathis, who lives in Dothan, there's no way he ever listens to this podcast or listens to podcasts at all in general, besides maybe Joe Rogan. He's
a part of the
There's some overlap between this
people.
and Joe Rogan, though. Yeah.
But he went up there with Peyton, his wife, and Peyton liked it a lot. She's like kind of into art and stuff, but he's like an accountant from Dothan, and he like loves golf. And I was telling him like you need to like go like whenever he was going, I was like you need to like avoid like Manhattan at all costs, and he just needs to play golf the whole time like elsewhere, and that way he would have like loved it, you know. Yeah. But he went and he like hated it, so, and I totally understand why, because it's packed everywhere.
Yeah, my dad hated it when we went. We only went for like 24 hours. I don't really know why. Yeah. I think he just like didn't like sitting in. We drove into New York. So
that is
terrible.
Yeah. Such a fascinating move.
Well, we were on a road trip, and so we were stopping through New York on the way back down, and so it happened. But yeah, I think he didn't like driving in New York because it's just a standstill the whole time, and people are walking. And
it is an interesting thing though. This is another like I just went to Europe like tangent thing.
Steven went to Europe.
Yeah, thank you guys. But I genuinely like public transport in Budapest. Budapest like is the size of like Nashville, and it was as intricate as New York's public transport though. So there was like tons of lines, tons of buses, tons of trolleys, and you could just get anywhere. Like I don't know if like the best way there'd be like a trolley and you could go get on it. Would be a 2-minute walk from my house, and you could get on it and be back in Homewood in like 10 minutes, and you would have no traffic. It would just be like
That's
right there.
crazy.
It was the coolest experience. But New York is making me think about that because one of the best parts about New York is when you're in the city, like everything's so full all the time, but you can just like walk downstairs everywhere and you can just go anywhere in like 10 minutes. And you feel like a freaking local. You're like, I own the city whenever you're on it. It's super cringe, but no, I like it. It was really fun. I really like New York.
Final consensus is it's not overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. Yeah.
Good question.
What did that have to do? How did that relate to Houston Dallas conversation?
How did it? I don't know.
We can move on from
Okay.
Texas if we don't want to talk about it anymore.
We've been talking about it the entire episode. So
Ethan and Luke, you guys are pretty funny guys.
yeah,
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What does it take to be funny?
I knew you were going to
How
ask
do you
that.
be funny?
How
Also,
do you do
that? If you're listening to this and you're like, man, I think it's so awesome when I laugh at jokes. And they're like, but I don't know how to be funny guy who tells jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you explain to another person who's not funny, like how to be funny?
It's a lot of yes and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of yes and.
Right.
Plenty of putting
and?
putting my foot in my mouth, if you will. You know that term.
Literally. I'm not quite there. I'm
Not quite
working on
there.
getting flexible enough.
People say Ethan, a lot of his comedic expertise comes from the way that he's built, right?
Right.
Yeah.
People often will say, oh, Luke's built like Gumby,
Right.
or
Many, many times I've heard that.
yeah, you'll hear that, and so like that helps. But man, just wow, new coffee, Steven, this coffee's unbelievable. I gotta say,
You're avoiding the question.
I am.
Tell me a joke.
So you're a funny guy. Tell me a joke. Hey.
Do some
Tell me a
improv.
joke.
Do some improv, Luke. That's the worst question.
No, I don't know.
I actually
guess
love.
I've never
Personally, I
answered
love
this.
improv, but
Yeah,
like, tell me a joke. I can't.
no,
I can't tell you a
No,
joke.
but it's when someone says like, "Tell me a joke," or "Oh, you did improv in high school. Do some improv," and then I stand there looking like a schmuck.
People will say like, going back to the question, like, hey, funny guy, do a funny thing,
Yeah.
And it's always kind of just like, but I mean, I guess to like semi-genuinely answer it, I really do like comedy. I watch a ton of it.
Yeah.
Not saying that makes me like good at it, but I do like enjoy trying to be funnier than I am at any given moment, and I, like anything that is like notable that has been in like the comedy world, I've probably been into at a certain point, and so like that definitely diversifies.
Who are your favorite comedians?
Favorite comedians? Okay. I have a.
No, I was going to
you
guess
answer?
them as you said them.
Oh no,
but
yeah, guess me.
John Mulaney,
Okay, nice.
Chris D'Elia.
D'Elia?
D'Elia?
Yeah.
D'Elia?
No, nice.
Chris D'Elia?
Yeah.
That's
So-
all I got, but I know those
Perfect.
for sure.
So I have a favorite comedian culturally.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
what he's done for the what he's done for like the whole like culture,
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
And then
Great.
great answer, yes.
Steve Martin.
No, and then I have like a favorite comedian that, like I like their jokes the best. I'd say like culturally, definitely Jerry Seinfeld.
Yep.
Like he is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like I love his vibe. And then actual like jokes wise, I love Chris D'Elia. I saw him in Nashville last year.
Nice.
At the Ryman, which was awesome.
Like you just like ran into him, or you went to a show?
You're like in front of the Ryman. And
It was
I
a guy
was,
that
I
looks
was,
a
I,
lot
ra-
like
I ran into him. I was trying to run something past him.
Yeah,
Hey,
Chris D'Elia
what
was
about
sitting
okay?
in a
So,
chair doing that.
hey,
Yeah, freaking weird.
I have this new bit on airports. Can I run it past you real quick? No. I'm sure he loves that.
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
I've been trying this
Actually-
one out at my college on the quad.
We were talking about this yesterday at Dawn Patrol, which is where Ethan just worked. Or
Shout out
just,
Dawn
just
Patrol.
started working.
He's already employee of the week.
Actually, today we actually are going to give our sponsorship to Dawn Patrol, which is might be my favorite coffee shop in Birmingham. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. I go to Dawn Patrol. I am more excited going to Dawn Patrol than I am excited to go anywhere else. I still go to June
Wow.
the most, but still,
That's high
Dawn
praise.
Patrol's like hype. I also love lavender. Their lavender is the best in my opinion. I know it's an opinion, though. I'm allowed to have an opinion. But anyways, Ethan's working there. Ethan is a great barista.
Yeah, he is.
It's the way I froth the milk.
He is becoming the best barista in the world right now.
He's on the climb.
Anyways, so we were there the other day, and me and John and Jake and Gracie, and we were talking about like how weird it is whenever you're the funny guy growing up. Everybody's like, "Oh, you should do stand-up comedy," and it's like, I don't know if that's the move. Like even like just because it's so much harder than you think. But anyways, we were like, if you did have to stand up and or do stand up, what would be your funniest bit? What would it be about?
Ooh.
I did stand up my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, you
Okay,
actually.
so you actually have a real answer to this.
For a church talent show.
He has experience.
Wow.
And it wasn't so great.
Oh man,
Yeah, you're underselling yourself.
What'd you get the most laughs?
Did you get laughs?
I did get. They could have been pity laughs.
Okay.
I think people liked my confidence because
Right.
everyone else in the talent show did like singing and things like that, and I lost. And
How old were you when you did this?
I was like, I don't know, how old is a sophomore in high school? Like 16?
15. It was 16.
yeah,
Okay.
15,
Yeah,
15, 16. I think I was 15 when I did it.
Wow.
The biggest laugh I got was my closer, and I did some bit on like
It's good to end on a high note, I
the
guess.
reason like Chick-fil-A doesn't use like chickens for their mascots because you don't want to look like your meat in the eye or something like that. People like that one. People enjoyed that one.
That's incredible.
Interesting.
Something like that.
Interesting.
That's incredible.
That's a good one.
I wore a fanny pack as well on stage.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in people
Chick-fil-A bit, that's a good relatable
Church joke.
That's another like high. This is another thing Jacob McClendon and I were talking about was like stand-up people, like even Jerry Seinfeld, who was like by far my favorite comedian. Like he, like in interviews, like he's still funny, but he's not funny in like a riff funny way.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
a
y'all are
business.
and I am. So it's definitely like a different kind of thing, especially
Yeah.
when it's that relatable. Like in order to be famous, you have to be relatable.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
part of
humor
why
has to
we
be like a little bit.
He's also one of those like Sisyphus type comedians, like where it's like tortured artists, Taylor Swift, tortured poet
Poet
type
society,
beat, you know,
Yeah.
where he's like, it'll take him like 10 years to write a one sentence joke, and he like loves that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
he's
different.
definitely taking like the work hard grind approach to comedy,
which
is strange.
Yeah,
because
the David Goggins
are
of
like
comedy.
most comedians are like on drugs. And
Get up and run 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
Get up and tell 100,000 jokes before you leave your house.
Ethan, do you have a favorite comedian? Or do you want to put them in categories like Luke did?
See, I haven't really studied the art of comedy like Luke. I guess to answer the question, how am I a funny guy? I think before I met Luke, I was a shell of a man. He kind of brings it out of me
Right.
more.
Dude,
He can please
That's
shut
what,
up.
that's what
Such cap.
that's what I think. Now he has watched my stand up and he's given me a lot of critiques and how I can get better.
Notes,
But
yeah.
Right.
Oh, they would.
favorite
no,
comedian,
yeah.
probably Jerry Seinfeld as well. I think I don't have categories of them.
Yeah.
Jerry's probably my favorite comedian. I am obsessed with most things that he does.
Yeah.
He's also a massive car collector guy, so then I just feel even closer
He's
of a
got some
bond
cool
with
cars.
someone I've never met before. But I don't listen to his comedy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the most stand up I watch is on Seinfeld. I don't watch like
just the
his-
show.
Like,
just like the short
I
like
listen
intros he
to a
does.
lot. I just found Tim Dillon recently. Like, I've known who he was for a few years, but I've started listening to him recently.
I think he's funny.
He's really, really funny.
He's so funny, and like not a lot of people know about him.
yeah.
Underground.
I mean, he's not underground. Like he's like one of those like, you know, there's like they call them what do they call the Rogan Six?
Yeah.
Yeah. the group of comedians that go on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
You know, they just kind of
It's
rotate.
like
He's
Theo
one of those guys that
Vaughn
just kind of
is
rotates.
probably one of them.
there.
Tim
Yeah.
Dillon's probably one of them.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of any of the other ones.
Ari Shaffir, Bert Kreischer goes on there. a lot.
It's funny because I don't think of Joe Rogan as a comedian, even though that's kind of most of what he does.
Yeah. No.
I think of him as like a podcaster and like the UFC guy.
I think a lot of people
Fear
told
factor.
Joe Rogan that he should do stand up, like you were talking about. They're like, "Oh, dude, you're so good with the wrestlers. or the fighters.
Yeah.
Your jokes when you talk to the wrestlers are so crisp. You should go.
Well, I was going to say earlier, I think why we went with the podcast format is the riffs are way better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that's the way that we are funny. And with our friends, that's the way we're funny. It's the yes and the this and the that, and here's something absurd.
Yeah.
But to like get up and all in and of yourself, like set up the situation, make sure it's relating to everybody, and then hit the punchline.
And hit with an unexpected line.
Yeah, like that's like a completely different thing.
Yeah,
really.
but when it hits though, man.
Yeah.
It's like
I've never really, I don't have any opportunities to get on a stage. So I don't think I've really,
like me.
Yeah.
I did take I had like memorized, it's like a 5-minute bit, and I memorized the whole thing, and probably at halfway, my mind went blank, and I paused for about 15 seconds. And that was the biggest cheer I got.
I think the
I'm
few,
like, you got it, buddy. You
got it, buddy. Come on,
Bring it home, champ.
It's coming. Here it comes. I think when we give like groomsmen speeches, I think that's like one of the few times where we get to be stand-up comedians. And literally after Whit's wedding, our friend Whit Harrelson, he's been on the podcast. Steven got up and like said something at his rehearsal dinner.
Brought the house
and
down.
like several people, everyone was laughing, and several people came up to him and were like, "Dude, you should be a stand-up comedian." It was really funny.
You should do this for a living. What, weddings?
Go be a groomsman. Okay.
No, yeah, I've thought about that though. So you guys have been in that situation, because I think about like I'm not probably quite there yet. Like
give it like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, and then you're giving speeches at weddings. How do you go into that like mentally? Do you think about being funny?
Always freeball it. The one time I wrote out my like speech was actually at Steven's wedding, and that was the time I was like most nervous, most stumbled over my words, most seemed like ingenuine.
Yeah.
You did. I don't think you looked up from the paper.
I don't think I did really, and it's funny because I'm not that bad at public speaking. I was just staring at.
Give you the blank napkin afterwards.
Well, I was trying to be like sweet and sentimental about it because I wanted to give Steven the like letter so that he could read it again later.
Yeah.
But then I ended up just being like a robot on stage. And so from that point on, I was like, I'm just gonna say whatever comes up.
That one was super interesting. That scenario, that was probably like one of the coolest moments of my life, being at my own rehearsal dinner and people going up. But Cameron Hayner was probably the funniest the entire night.
Yeah.
The dude in like my roommate in North Carolina when I lived there for a year.
Yeah.
And he walked up and he was like, "Steven, I know we haven't known each other for that long." And then like emotion hit him, and it like he literally like reacted as if emotion was like a human being up there, and he was just like, "Whoa!"
He just got like Chris rocked by emotion.
Yeah. He was like, and honestly, I've been at so many rehearsal dinners now at this point in my life that I know whenever people are like, "Well, I'm just gonna stop talking because I'm gonna start crying if I say anymore," I'm like, "That's just an out for you."
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason.
It's just
you
your
said that.
bad way of closing.
Yeah, that's just because you're not killing right now.
But like,
It's like, well, I'm flopping right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and before I start crying.
Cam was like maybe 5 seconds into his speech when it happened. So I just remember thinking it was like hilarious. And then whenever we lived in North Carolina, I worked at a coffee shop with these like 3 girls that like we hung out with all the time. But anyways, they were like our best friends up there. And those 3 girls were sitting on the table like closest to him, and they all started like dying laughing at him because Cameron is like not an emotional person.
Yeah.
And it was like they're laughing at him, not like with him kind of moment.
Yeah.
So just like that, I vividly remember that being like the funniest, because a lot of it was like, it is weird because a lot of times you get like sentimental during it because it is such a like crazy moment for the person. But I don't know. Like, I don't really think it's like a, like, because I feel like the punchline is always like a funny, like, I don't know, whether like the unexpectedness is like a connection you would have never made before, or whether the unexpectedness is like a punchline of like a joke. I feel like it's kind of the same
I think
thing.
the cadence of the talk is usually like, You give, so most of these situations, it's like all your best friends are eating dinner right next to each other, and then it's a room full of people that you don't know because it's the family of like the bride and groom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're playing to the
And
locals.
so you're you have to give the little bit of the background of like, here's how I know them. And then sometimes in some instances that becomes a contest, which that's when it kind of sucks. Where it's
Yeah.
like, well, I've known him since we were in our cribs, and you've only known him since 6th grade.
Yeah.
But usually, you give some context. You're like, hey, here's how I know this person.
Yeah.
And then you like tell some kind of funny story about him, make everybody laugh. And then once everybody's laughing, you kind of end with like and I love you for this reason, that, and the other. And
So
you're really
excited for
awesome and super excited for you. And mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yeah.
And then you close.
That's a good
kind of
structure.
That's
I
kind
also
of the
think
structure.
like
you write that
the awareness of that flow allows you to like make fun of it.
Yeah.
And Myers does that bit a lot. It's a pretty good one.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
A
I tend
Webster's
to be
dictionary
like, well,
defines-
here's the part where I'm going to transition into saying nice things about you.
Oh man. I have a segment for today. Do you want to transition into a nice? Do you want to do a segment presented by Mamitas?
Yes. The Mamita segment.
Welcome to today's generic segment called "Things That Just Aren't That Big of a Deal." Let's talk about things that just aren't that big of a deal, based upon the Reddit thread.
Is there a
What's
Reddit?
something that is not a big deal that people tend to blow out of proportion? First one, assembling IKEA furniture. That's a really good one, I feel like. What do y'all think about that?
I have a story, unless you have something you want to
Go
say.
for it.
I have an IKEA shelf. I currently own it.
Wow.
I'm a shelf owner, not renter.
Okay.
And bought it from IKEA, brought it out to Alabama from Texas, and then was going to like assemble it
Yeah.
when we moved into our frat house. Right.
Flex. Two flexes, one conversation.
He's an IKEA renter, and he lives in a frat.
Owner. He
He's
doesn't
an owner.
rent. He doesn't rent.
But no, I was like putting this off, and I was like, I'm just gonna build it in like 5 minutes, because like my parents always just like built our IKEA stuff, and so I'd like watch them assemble it super quick, and I was like, oh, and so I get it out, no joke. That thing took me 3 days to build.
Wow.
And not like I'm coming back to it. Like that was the main thing I was doing that day.
Wow.
Didn't I help
So-
you build that?
You helped
That's
me,
what-
but dude,
that's what-
everyone helped me build it.
Can you
we were like,
describe the
anybody
shelf?
else in the hallway that knows how to use a screwdriver? No, it was bad. But there was drilling nails into wood involved. Like, when is that a thing in
Wow.
IKEA, But yeah, no, dude, you built a lot of that. So
Wow.
What kind of is it? Like this kind of shelf?
No, it's like super
Oh,
small.
I
it's
wish.
like not even waist high.
I was gonna say this could be like a shelf, like a
Unbelievably
floating
small.
shelf, which means he spent 3 days drilling into the wall to hang 2 screws, or it could be like a whole like chest of drawers
yeah,
shelf.
so
He
to
came
my
out running.
future spouse, I can provide.
He's a manly man.
No, I'm a do-it-yourself man. No, it was an embarrassingly small piece of furniture for
Yeah.
taking that long.
That's
It was
tough.
bad. So I'm on the big deal side of that. What would you
Oh, wow.
say?
I haven't bought that many IKEA furnitures to. I bought a few things, but nothing really crazy.
Well,
You only buy
I was
American
definitely
made
gonna
stuff.
make fun of it and say it's like the same thing as building Legos
I
because you
was-
just follow the instructions.
I mean, it seemed pretty.
It
So
is.
maybe I'll just
It is.
destroy Luke a little bit on that.
Measly
His
little-
industrious skills are really low, really low.
Yeah, no, for real. That was a low point for me.
That's tough. That's tough.
Many tears were shed.
Many tears were shed. Yeah, Luke, stop crying.
I think if
girls
you're
here.
looking at it from like a crying. From like a business perspective, it's very impressive that they've created furniture that can be built by anyone. Except for Luke Becker.
Even if it takes 3 entire days.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
It might
Takes a
take
village.
someone
Takes a
like
village, they
5
say.
minutes or
Yeah.
someone else like 3 days.
That was the inception of the how many frat guys does it take to build an IKEA?
Right. What do you think,
It's
Steven?
hilarious. I mean, like I don't know. I like build stuff, so
Yeah.
I don't, it's not
Into
really that
woodworking.
hard for me.
Yeah.
But also, I think that like I built that table, the one that hey, you listeners, you're sitting on top of a table right now. The table that you're sitting on top of, I like had a drill. Like I have like a
assembled
power
it. You
drill.
assembled it.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
I assembled it, and I had a power drill, which made it take like insanely it made it insanely faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you had a power drill. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
He did not.
Okay, but if you had a power
wait,
drill, it probably would have taken you like 10 minutes.
As of the power, okay, I think the power drill came in like day 3.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right. So yeah, no.
So
that-
what
it's
you're saying
been,
is you were trying to hand drill into
like-
wood.
I was doing it like a whisk.
screwdriver that's like this big. I mean,
like you're setting some kindling on fire.
Right.
you're
Yeah.
screwing and unscrewing simultaneously for
Right.
2 days.
Why isn't this working? Yeah.
Right.
You're like, why does this power drill only go one direction over and over and over again? Like,
Yeah. No, but
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that like that table is probably the most intricate thing I've ever built, and it took like, I don't know, the 2 hours. One thing that I think is fascinating is whenever you're building that stuff or assembling that stuff, I get more sweaty doing that stuff than I do most things in my life, and it doesn't really seem like it should make me that sweaty because I'm not really moving like very far distances, but I have to like move and like make sure like my pressure is adjusted in the right way. There's like this.
You're still
it's
like using your muscles, I think, and
Yeah.
you don't think that you're going to use your muscles to just put something together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you're just like it's gonna be like super easy Legos? Nope.
Step above Legos.
So, but like,
Okay.
wow.
Do y'all have anything that y'all can think of? Things that aren't that big of a deal that people make to be a big deal.
I'm trying to think. Do you have anything?
Shucks.
I would say, oh man, I feel like I just had something when you raised the question, and then the IKEA one's a good one. I feel like that's pretty culturally relevant. Ethan, you mentioned that you only buy American made. You don't buy you don't buy foreign brands. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just strictly New Balance and
Yeah, true.
George Foreman grills. I don't know what another American brand is. But no, I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Do you guys have one that you also ask?
Well, I think you work at a coffee shop,
Right.
So that's one thing I was gonna. You probably definitely have one because you've been working in service industry. Because I feel like people make things out to be a big deal in service industry all the time. So like aren't that big of a deal.
Like customers coming in, like
Yeah. Or workers. I think workers, I've definitely worked in cafes before where workers will act like a customer's behavior or vice versa. A customer will act like a worker's behavior is like insane because it's just like it's a transactional relationship. There's like all humanness is like completely taken and moved to the side sometimes whenever you're in a server or a like customer to employee relationship at a service place.
I would say probably tipping is not that big of a deal.
I was literally thinking that in my head.
Like
No,
if
for
someone
real.
doesn't give you $1,
Yeah.
not a big deal. If you give someone $1, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Neither way, because there's people on one side of the argument.
Ethan, I'm going to go out on a whim here and say doesn't tip.
I do tip. And now, well, I haven't been on the other side of the barista counter until recently. So
You working for those
I say
tips?
that as
I'm working
someone.
for the tips for sure because tips are a huge part of my
Yeah,
pay.
I mean,
so now I'm rethinking the way I tip for
Okay,
sure.
nice sob
I've never
story.
not given a tip. I've never not given a tip before though. They're usually like, I don't know, upper row college student vibe. So and coffee
Yeah.
around here is like
Pretty
I don't know, it could
expensive.
be like $8 for
Yeah.
some coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tip like
If a coffee's over $5, actually I take that back. My threshold is $7. When I buy something and when I buy one thing from anywhere,
Yeah.
unless it's food, and when I buy one thing from anywhere and it's over $7, I'm like, you've already worked a tip into this.
for real.
There's no freaking way that this should cost $7.
Yeah. Now, do you guys are at your place? Are you guys doing the common barista trope of if like somebody tips $1 and there's 4 of you, you cut the dollar bill into 4 pieces?
Yeah, yeah. we do wishbones. We all go to the corner and just rip it.
Whoever gets the bigger part of the dollar.
The customer's like, I've noticed you guys like violently fighting for each tip, and it's kind of distracting my studying over here. So I thought of another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless we're still on the
we're
tip
moving
thing.
on.
If you like, unless it's like, I guess really fancy at a restaurant, if somebody brings me something, say I'm like, no croutons, please, and they bring me the thing with croutons or something.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping that.
Yeah.
I'm not sending things back.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of people I know that are like,
Nope.
Send it back.
Yeah.
Comp it or something, you know? Yeah, no, I might make some enemies here. If there's a hair, if there's like anything's majorly wrong with the meal, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
Straight
I mean,
up.
I'm taking the hair out, but I'm keeping it
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of depends on my level of hunger. I would have to be like pretty much not hungry at all.
Yeah.
To send something back if there was like one.
The
hair.
only way I send it back is if it's like, I hate mayonnaise and the dish is like covered in mayonnaise.
You ordered a plate of mayonnaise, right?
Yeah. It's like you wanted mayonnaise
somebody in
on
the
your
kitchen
spaghetti,
know me?
right?
you wanted your spaghetti.
You said instead of red sauce on your pizza, you wanted mayonnaise, right?
And they're just grinning from ear to ear as they
You wanted mayonnaise, right? Well, I feel like dietary restrictions are a different ballgame.
Oh,
if you
completely
like,
different
yeah,
ballgame. Completely different.
If you want to not have an allergic reaction to peanuts,
But
that's
sometimes, like,
understandable.
I've had friends where they don't want to be like mean or anything. They don't want to be a disturbance.
Yeah.
They're like literally like celiac, and there will be like
Yeah.
there will be a normal pizza they brought
Yeah.
out that was supposed to be gluten free,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, like don't worry about it, and I'm like,
That's
like
crazy.
you're gonna have diarrhea for 3 days.
Yeah. Also, like I
you're-
am confrontational. I'm not afraid to go and say like, hey, this is wrong.
Right.
But then I have to be the one who does that for people like what you're talking
Yeah.
about, who are like, I'm actually like, I can't have cheese or else I will have a miserable week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I feel like, especially at like if you're at a nice pizza place or something like, I guess pizza's different because like literally, but if you go to like McDonald's, if you go to anywhere besides Chick-fil-A, that's like fast food, you should not expect anything going into that
Oh my
environment.
gosh.
Like you should expect like negative things going in. You should expect for them to get it wrong. So I said no pickles for so long at Chick-fil-A and they got it wrong so many times. That's at Chick-fil-A. They got it wrong so many times. Now I'm just like, number one, I'll take the pickles off myself.
Yeah.
I don't even freaking care anymore. Yeah. It's also sometimes it takes longer to do no pickles because they'll be like out of no pickles. I'm like, nah.
Out of
too much
no
time.
pickles.
Out of no
Out of no pickles.
Yeah.
They gotta like cook a whole new sandwich.
Our
Crap.
pickle guy went crazy with the pickles today. There's like 8 on each of those things. There's no pickle sandwiches today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We have 6,000 sandwiches with pickles. Are you sure?
Also, that's a weird thing that Chick-fil-A, like, out of everything you can put on a sandwich as standard,
Yeah.
pickles.
2 pickles.
2 pickles was the thing that they were like, every single sandwich has to have 2 pickles.
Yeah.
They're just like completely, we're like, they do this on burgers. So, but also like if you just get a plain hamburger from McDonald's, is it assumed it comes with pickles?
I don't think
No,
it
it's
does.
I
think
don't know.
I think it's just a piece of cheese, right?
Yeah.
Just cheese burger. Like that
Also
kind
in general, even with burgers, like why is there 2 pickles on burger? Like why is
It's just such a
why are there
strange-
pickles on sandwiches?
Why
I
are
mean, they're
pickles
not like
on things?
bad.
It's interesting.
I mean, I always get I get it with pickles.
Like, do
'cause
the
I'm a
majority
man.
of
I'm not
people-
scared of pickles.
Do the majority of people do they prefer like I feel like the majority of people are like, oh cool, like I don't care about pickles. But do the majority of people prefer pickles on their sandwich? Comment below.
That's
Chick-fil-A
our poll
sandwich?
this week.
Just any sandwich.
Yeah, like if I make a sandwich at home,
I'm
I
not
don't
putting
even
pickles on
think
that.
of pickles.
I would never put it on.
I've never bought pickles before to put on my sandwich.
I like pickles.
But-
I'll eat like a dill pickle.
The word pickle is
But-
kind of becoming meaningless in my brain. I've said it so many times.
Well, I think with Chick-fil-A, the reason I get pickles is because they made it that way.
That's
My
fair.
trusting my taste buds are the ones that made the sandwich.
True and Kathy
Question
and
for you. Yeah.
True and Kathy's name. I
True
trust.
Kathy, I'm sure knows more than me about chicken sandwiches, so I think he knows what tastes good.
Right.
That's super.
But I think Truett Kathy just wants you to believe what he believes.
True.
You know?
I do feel like some
you
sort of
believe
like
what he wants you to believe.
belief pushed on me as I eat the
Right.
sandwich.
Right.
You're like you're about to profess faith in Jesus Christ because there are pickles.
Because
on
there's
your
2
sandwich.
pickles. Gospel pickles.
Yeah.
No, but to your point though, like when you like, it should be like a pretty. Oh, this is actually an interesting question. At what level? Like we'll go. What's like what's like a typical thing to get at a restaurant? Like if you get like a
spaghetti with mayonnaise.
if you get like a buffalo chicken sandwich at like a freaking I don't know,
just
what's
a
like
random sports bar,
random Buffalo Wild Wings
or
something. How bad would your Buffalo Wild Wings meal have to be in order for you to? Actually, let's make this more generic. Let's include the female audience here because females might not go to Buffalo Wild Wings as much as like males. So let's say you go to
Chili's.
we talk about Taco Mama all the time. Let's talk about
Taco Mama. Okay.
How bad would your Taco Mama order have to be for you to go back and?
I do have a standard for this.
Okay.
Really?
Completely different item.
Yeah.
That's my bar.
You ordered like a quesadilla and they brought out a taco.
And they brought out a hamburger. like if there was
Taco Mama brought out a hamburger to me, I'd be like, yo, okay.
Someone's
This isn't even on the menu.
Try this.
Someone's trying to send me a message.
I guess God wanted me to eat a hamburger today.
Why are there pickles on it? But yeah, no, a completely different item for me. Seriously, like if it's like if it's even a close item, I'm like at least they were trying.
It's like a hard shell taco, but you got like a burrito.
Okay,
you
go through
sort of
you go through
similar.
Taco Mama, legit. You go through Taco Mama. You order chips and queso, or chips and guac, chicken quesadilla, shredded chicken or something, and then you get out, and then they bring you nachos. With shredded chicken, like exactly, but they just somehow forgot the quesadilla thing.
I'll still eat it.
Yeah.
Would you still take it?
I'm still eating that. What about you?
I don't know how badly you can, unless it's like the wrong order, how badly can you mess up like a taco that I'm going to send it back? And this there's like,
Taco Mama,
if
like
there's more hair than chicken, then I'll probably send it back.
Taco Mama, like everything is the same.
Everything is so basic at Taco
It's
Mama.
just like,
Tortilla's cooked or soft.
badly can you mess it
do you
up?
want the tortilla like around the stuff, or do you want it like
Underneath
the stuff, or like?
Kind of realizing, man, that Mexicans really have us gypped right now.
Everything is the same. It's just like, where is the tortilla?
Why people are like,
That's a
this is
crazy thing to
amazing.
say.
They have like 15 different dishes. It's like it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Burritos and tacos, man.
Same thing.
Same exact thing. One's just.
Do you want the tortilla open or closed? Do you want it in pieces underneath?
This could be a stand-up bit.
This could be.
You should do
Hey, is
stand-up.
this anything?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll write it down in my notes app. My stand-up bits.
I got one of those.
Wait, you put the locked effect on that, so they can't take your jokes.
My jokes. These are my jokes. You can't have them.
Gracie's waking
Jobs
up in the
is
middle
like-
of the night, opening your notes app, trying to get your jokes. You gotta lock it.
I'm like leaning over to see if my wife's awake. Like, stand up.
So
Car dealership bit. No, for a little bit though, I did do
Bit
voice
about
memos, which is so
airplanes.
embarrassing. Yeah.
that's so not embarrassing at all. Voice memos and notes, I always am happy when I do them, and I'm always mad when I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always.
same.
Voice memos to myself. I'm not a big fan of voice memos to friends. I don't know if y'all are.
Yeah, voice text to people is weird. I feel like I have to like step out of the office to go like listen to a voice text.
Yeah.
Apple really promised us that they would like transcribe all of them. They do not transcribe all of them.
Yeah.
Really makes me mad. It really makes me happy when they are transcribed. But
Yeah.
What do you guys think is the what do you think the cutoff is for texting someone a voice memo? Like what timestamp do you have to cut it off?
60 seconds. If it's more than,
Good call.
I'm thinking after 30 seconds, my brain's fading.
For sure.
But after 60 seconds, I'm like, frick. Like, this is a long. What? This is a.
he's
Like
running
if it's
to the
over
gentleman's
60,
room.
like literally Chase, which again, like maybe Chase will listen to this. I don't know. Chase like straight up will send me voice memos sometimes telling me something that could be, oh man, probably like a 3-sentence text.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5-sentence text, and it'll be like she will run out of time on the first one. Like 5 minutes on the first one and 2 minutes.
I'll be honest. I was gonna say it's the other way around. If it's like a 4-minute long voice like memo text thing, that makes more sense to me than like a 30-second one. Because the 30-second one, it's like, why didn't you just take 45 seconds to
Right.
type this out.
Maybe they want you to hear the vocal inflection of how the
Maybe.
emotion they felt.
Can you believe they put croutons on my salad?
They're trying
All
to practice
caps
their
wasn't
stand
gonna
up in
convey
the text. Yeah. So I'm working through this bit right now. Tell me what you think about this this delivery.
Okay, so I was at Qdoba the other day.
Okay.
I never eat at Qdoba. I think
What
this maybe
is
the
Qdoba?
second time I've ever eaten there. It's like worse Chipotle. It's like if Taco Bell and Chipotle had a middle child.
I have a story
Okay.
about this actually. Yeah.
So I was at Qdoba, Cinco de Mayo, in the Atlanta airport, on my way to Europe. Let's freaking go!
Come on.
But anyways, so I was like, Cinco de Mayo. I would never in a million years go to Qdoba in the airport. I would always go Chick-fil-A. But I was
Yeah.
like, Cinco de Mayo. Let's freaking get some Mexican food. So
Yeah.
I go up. I order a chicken quesadilla. And when you're at Qdoba, just like Moe's, Qdoba and Moe's are the same thing. Just like Moe's, if you order a quesadilla, it just takes longer because they have to put it on that huge freaking like grit, like whatever that's called, skillet griddle, like press thing. And so I ordered a quesadilla. If you get a bowl or a taco, they just hand it straight to you after they make it. But I ordered a quesadilla. This guy, it was either this guy in front of me or behind me, also ordered a quesadilla. I ordered super simple chicken cheese because it's Qdoba. I'm not messing with any raw ingredients at all. That's gonna make me sick. I'm about to go on a flight all the way to Paris. So like, I was like, I'm going
Europe.
simple.
You're going to Europe.
And the guy behind me, no cheese, different meat, corn. So like corn, it was like corn, lettuce, and steak.
No
Yes.
cheese and a quesadilla.
What?
Super interesting. I imagine they used like, maybe he said like light cheese. I don't remember, but anyways. So then I go chill at the table with everybody. They call my number. I go back up. They hand me I didn't know it at the time, but they hand me his quesadilla. I don't realize it till I got back. There's another thing about me that you need to know is I love Chipotle mayo. Like Chipotle mayo, I could be buried in that one day.
You
It
would
is
have
so
that
good.
on your spaghetti.
Yes, on my spaghetti. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, if you were like, if I ordered a chicken quesadilla from Taco Mama and they gave me a bowl of Chipotle mayo and that was it, I would eat it. But no, but I also got Chipotle mayo on mine and I was really excited. Or I got a side of Chipotle mayo on mine. And I got it and the Chipotle mayo wasn't in there. So I was like, oh, whatever. Take a bite into it. And it's steak and corn and lettuce.
That's crazy.
And I was like, and I ate like, I was like, because I'm so on like, don't take it back. Like, it doesn't matter. It's Cinco de Mayo. They're ATL airport workers. Like, don't be that guy. And like, I like, after eating an entire like fourth of it, little slice of it, I was like, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it.
It's a strange concoction.
Yeah. And I walked back and I was like, and I blamed it on dietary reasons. I was like, I can't eat corn. Because I was like, I don't want to deal with these people.
After you just ate a slice of it.
Yeah, a whole slice of it. I was like, hey, I was like, you gave me the wrong one. The guy behind me ordered corn. Like, I literally can't eat corn. Can I?
You can't
Like,
digest
you
it. That's
doing?
true. So I guess it's not a lie.
Yeah, it's not technically, it was definitely a lie.
I
But I was like, I want to ask y'all, am I like horrible? I was stoked for a chicken quesadilla. I'm about to eat like a thing that's historically known for bad digestive tract from a horrible, clean. But as far as cleanliness goes, Qdoba was not hitting those bars. And it was just corn and steak.
I mean, you got the wrong order.
Yeah,
So
it's
take it back.
But it is like technically the same thing. But it's like if you order a chicken cheese,
Well, in
and
that
they
instance,
give you the majority is just corn and steak. I feel like that's
in that instance, you were the one in the wrong for picking up the wrong order.
no. They handed me like it in a bag. They were like, "This is yours."
Then yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think
safe
so.
here.
Just wanted to make sure. I've been feeling terrible about it.
I mean, I know that we all just said we will just eat it.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't have any problem with sending it back.
Steak
It's
and corn
just-
feels like different enough of an item. That's not a quesadilla.
Yeah, if there wasn't, to our point earlier about how the Mexicans have us gypped, it's just, the only thing they got the same was just like a kind of a tasteless little like
I
flour shell.
gotta say, I know we just went on a whole tangent about everything is the same at Mexican restaurants. Moe's has a stack.
Yeah,
True.
And that's where it's
Different.
like they put the tortilla down, they put cheese on it, then they put like a tostada, like a circular shaped tortilla chip, and then they build everything on, and then another chip on top, and then they like press it like a quesadilla.
Yeah.
But it's got that chip and cheese layer, dude. That is like a
Moe's
different
stack
thing.
a Moe's stack is pre-fall. Like that
That
will
is
exist in the new
unbelievable.
heaven. Yes,
That is crazy.
like that is so freaking good. Okay, I will say Moe's.
Moses mid.
We have 2 Sanford students here, so I kind of want to hear, where do y'all go? What are y'all's like UC
University
splurges?
Yeah.
Like when you're in the food court and think like generic college food court. There's a Moe's, there's like a grill, there's a Chick-fil-A,
coffee shop.
there's a freaking acai bowl place, a sushi bar, that kind of crap. Yeah. What's your UC splurges? Because for mine, it's a steak stack. That was mine.
Mine was a stack from Moe's.
Yeah. That's good.
If I'm splurging, well, some things in the UC are meal swipes now, so it's different than now or there.
Yeah. I'd
That
say
sucks
mine's like
for
those
us. That sucks for us.
super artisan Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Like the one where the bread was like came down from the clouds and it's got like poppy seeds on, or like the oats on it. You know?
Came down from the clouds.
Like they're not whipping that up with the rest of the batch. Like there's a guy back there with like a big white puffy hat making it, you know?
He's hand making the buns.
Yeah, he's hand making the buns.
He's like salt baying the sesame seeds on there.
There's the grilled chicken, you know, they're throwing some bacon on there. Like they shaved it off a pig in the back. and then you go to buy it and it's like $17, and the rest of the sandwiches at the restaurant are like $4. No, but that's my splurge. That's it.
Chicken club from Chick-fil-A.
Just a freaking nice
One of them nice sandwiches. I don't got those where I come from.
It's funny.
I splurge on acai bowls. That's a hot take for
Dude,
many guys at Sanford. Don't want to be seen eating one.
No, that's a hot take for sure.
But they make me feel healthy.
The one with the peanut butter on it is really tasty.
I'm not gonna lie. City
Can't have
Bowls.
peanut
City
butter.
Bowls is like it also that might exist in heaven as well. I think so. Like if you get the Beeham Bowl, I think is what it's called. This one with peanut butter and Nutella, strawberries, bananas, blueberries.
That one's crazy.
Oh,
Luke,
I
did you
might
want to
get that
tell
for
your
lunch.
Did you want to tell your Qdoba story?
oh yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, first of all, I love that you were about to leave America and you were like, what do I want my last thing in America to be? Qdoba. I want to remember America as Qdoba before I'm gone. Yeah. No, but so my dad told me a story one time where he was, I guess, at like a dinner. You know how couples will go to dinner with other couples? They were doing one of those things.
Okay.
I think they call it
I've heard
like
of
a
that.
double date.
Yeah, double date, maybe. Yeah.
Swinging, I think is what it's called.
That's crazy.
But my dad was talking to another dad. You know how it goes. And they were talking about work, and so the guy worked for Qdoba corporate.
Wow.
And he said,
Mr. Ba?
Mr. Ba. He was. It was actually similar to the Tanaka, like the original translation of the Torah. It was split into 3 parts, 3 last names, you know?
Yeah.
No, but anyways, he was like, my dad, I don't know how the conversation actually went, but anyways, my dad's talking to him about that and, you know, like the Mexican food market in general. And I guess he brought up Chipotle.
Oh, did the
And the guy was like, Chipotle.
He was like, what is Chipotle?
Yes.
I've never heard of Chipotle. Have you heard of Chipotle?
He legit
I didn't
was
think
like,
so.
He legit was like, Chipotle with their fancy health initiatives, and we recycle everything, and their fresh meat.
Can
and
you believe them? They recycle.
He was like, he apparently was really upset that like they had this whole like we're better than other restaurants because we like use fresh ingredients and all that. It was like a known thing in corporate that they like had beef because of that. But I just thought that was funny. Like,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Your dad wrapped it up. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, Qdoba corporates here is a great job market here in Dallas.
Move on in, come on.
Job market Dallas.
Job market Dallas, yeah.
Dude.
Synonymous terms.
Hey, well, guys, you know we've been going for hour 38 now. I mean, any last thoughts? Any last things you wanna share?
Anything the people need to know?
Well, just thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
This was awesome. I've
What a
been
pleasure.
looking forward to this. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'd have this crew on again.
Oh,
It's a good
man.
time.
Don't get our hopes up.
Don't get our hopes up.
You made it.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
This was the best podcast I've ever been on.
Okay, the jury's been out this entire time, Ethan. In comparison to something about parenting boys, how does the word of mouth guest experience
I think
compare?
I had more information to tell on that one.
All right.
Okay.
I felt more of a star, you know.
In
Right.
between the two, Ethan, when it comes to what does it mean to be from Houston, and what does it mean to be funny, in comparison to what does it mean being parented as a boy, he has more to say.
Do you clean your room?
I think if I'm,
Also, like talking about being parented as a boy is kind of like
I think I'm.
you don't know anything else. Like I was
In
never a
comparison to
girl.
what I'm imagining.
I've never been not a son.
You've also
Like,
never
what does
been
it mean
a
to
parent.
exist?
I think if I'm on again, I would love more questions in that realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What it's like to
Noted.
be.
That's
parented
your
as a
Q
boy.
zone.
Right.
I'll get on that.
Well,
Reddit
whenever
thread.
we have our
That's my exact.
whenever we have our
Q zone.
parenting season where
Yeah.
we talk to
Yeah.
people who've been parented, we'll have you back on.
That's great.
Oh
Love
man.
that.
Love it.
Hey guys. Cheerio then.
Thanks,
on.
Cheerio. Thank you, listeners.
Radio then.
Word of mouth. You're now leaving word of mouth. See you
mouth.
next time.
Have a wonderful day.
Welcome to the secret segment of the podcast.
And we actually are not gone.
Secret
It
segment.
was a psych moment. We psyched you out.
All right. So this is what it's called whenever things don't go as planned. It's called the secret segment because people think that it's over.
People
But
think
it's
the
not.
podcast ended, but it
Yeah.
actually didn't.
Is this a segment that people have to pay for on Patreon?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead and throw
So
it.
exclusive
My
listeners.
Patreon is Venmo at Stephen O. Peacock.
It's like the unrated stuff.
Unrated, yeah.
Yeah, so we might say a bad word like crap or stupid or
All right, so
frick.
my one question I have for the secret segment is, you know, we have a new. We're gonna leave her nameless. We have a new love life between the four of us.
Oh my.
Two of us are married, so
Two of us are married, so it's not us.
It's not
Even though
over here on this side
Myers
of the room.
did just get congratulated by Luke earlier. for
Luke
getting
did
engaged.
congratulate me for getting
Congrats on the
engaged
engagement.
2 years ago.
It's
Luke,
still a
do you-
huge
Luke, do
milestone.
you date?
Yeah.
Not at the moment.
Are you dating? Are you? Is there?
I'm a
Is
single guy?
we're a single guy? Okay, well then,
Content.
female listeners out there in the world, we got a single guy.
I
This
can
is a secret
provide
segment,
and
so
build
only
up here for
250 million people listen to this segment.
And if you
It's not
wanna
the full
see 'em,
billion.
Yeah.
If you want to see him, click on your little Spotify app.
Yeah.
I think
We
they
got
made
a visual here.
they made a Tinder profile for you.
That's crazy. So
Without
our
acting.
secret segment is we're gonna
Well, it-
skip
yeah,
match.
Scroll
Based on
through
your
and match
guys'
Luke with somebody.
Based on your guys' demographic, I'm open to any country because that's what it sounds like. you guys have listeners all around the world.
Set you
I've
up on a
heard
blind
that
date
women in
down to Lucky.
Uzbekistan. I've
Any
heard that
country.
Uzbekistanian women are pretty beautiful.
Even Canada.
Absolutely.
Canadians
Flightless,
love
digital-less
guys built
war
like
is
you.
coming.
Truly.
True. I'm trying to think of a famous Canadian. What's her name? Shoot, I'm not gonna think of Celine Dion.
Selena Gomez.
Is she Canadian?
Yeah.
No way. She's
No
also. She grew up
She's from
in
San Antonio.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
San Antonio,
She is. That's not a
Canada.
joke.
San Antonio, Canada.
San
Right.
Antonio, Quebec.
Wow.
Beautiful area up there.
It's
only about 2
Michaela
hours from
Peterson.
Austin.
yeah.
Michaela Peterson,
but
Jordan
anyways-
Peterson's daughter.
So we have new love life going on. Ethan, what's it been like, man? What's it been like as a new
As a
lover.
new
as a new BF in this
Right.
world, in this crazy
newly
crazy
minted
dating
boyfriend.
world, this crazy
Right.
dating world full of anxiety and stress. Nobody
Flowers.
dates anymore.
Dating in this job market has been tough.
Do you think
It's a wild
do you think
ride. It's a
dating in
wild
the
ride.
Dallas job market would be easier?
Yeah. And then what is
Honestly,
it? And then what is it?
bet
the
there's
lack
a
of
freaking-
Qdoba.
Do you think if you
Girl-
worked for
Girl
Qdoba?
Defined Ministry. That's where they're from.
And then what is it?
From-
What is it
from
like?
where?
Dating.
Girl Defined, like the those
Texas?
two girls. They're from Dallas, or I think
really?
they're Waco girls,
Oh,
which
wow.
totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Is Waco Dallas? Where is Waco at?
Waco's like 2 hours south of Dallas.
I'd
So,
rather
yeah,
go to Austin
suburbs.
than Waco.
Wow.
I have a few takes on Waco, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some things on Waco.
There's
Yeah.
a cult there.
What,
is there?
No, there was the Davidic Branch Davidians.
Branch Davidians with David Koresh.
Yeah, I watched.
There's a documentary.
Blake
on
Watley
Netflix,
kind of
I
looks
think.
like that guy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And then
We
Waco
should talk to
redeemed
Blake about that. He
themselves.
should start a cult.
Yeah, we should. No, the one question I did have a direct question because y'all been long distance for a little bit of it here.
Yep.
Yep, you and nameless girlfriend.
Nameless girlriend.
Let's see if I can say her name backwards. Thed.
This
Better.
special day.
No,
of my
better.
life.
The TH would not be. It would be.
That's Okay,
Right,
so you've been
right.
FaceTiming a lot. When FaceTime conversation dies down, one thing that I feel like would be super beneficial for everybody, whether they're single or dating or married,
Or just
what
have
is
friends.
a go-to? What is a go-to question when FaceTime conversation dies down?
Ooh.
Ooh,
My laundry's done.
Not a
See how
question.
fast
It's
I
just
can
like
get
a.
off FaceTime, I guess. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm super bad at texting, FaceTime, and calling.
Yeah.
It's basically communication.
Yeah. Digital communication.
Digital communication. Good at talking,
Okay, so-
yapping.
Amidst everyone's pain of not knowing what to say at the end of FaceTime, you thought you were going to get an idea, but instead you're getting relatability from Ethan.
Ethan.
He struggles too.
You can hit him with like the connections questions. You know, it's like, would you rather have paws for hands or fins for feet?
Are you reading off of a beach ball right now?
All right, catch this beach ball wherever
Okay,
your
so-
thumb lands.
Context for our non-Bulldog listeners.
Yeah.
At our
Millions.
first weekend into Sanford, you have this beach ball, and then you throw it around a group of people, and then you'll catch it, and you'll be like left index finger, and then whatever your left index finger's on, there'll be a question on the beach ball. And on the question, my favorite beach ball question I ever had was, do you wipe to the inside of your thigh or to the outside of your thigh? Which way? Which way are you going? Because I think that is the most unspoken, untouched debate of all time. Because people are opinionated about this. I'm not going to say my opinion. I don't want to open up that can of beans, if you will.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's a whole can of beans.
But
Bush.
that is my favorite. That is my favorite question I've ever had.
That's a good one.
Bush.
Oh, I think a good one is, were you popular in high school, and how did you interact with popularity in high school? That's a good one.
Well, do we want to? Which one would pick your path? Which question do you want to answer?
Okay.
What was the if I was popular in high school?
Or if you want to talk about that poop thing, you can.
You can talk about which way you wipe, or popularity in high school.
Or if you wipe while you pee, you can talk about that too.
So I would
Completely up to
say,
you.
I would answer the popularity one. If you were to put the popularity from middle school to the graduation in high school of my, I guess, community on a timeline,
Right.
it would kind of rise and fall like the Roman Empire. So like, I think it's so interesting that you have like.
So
all
you were
these
popular
kids-
for like 500 years.
The rise of 500. It was a little bit longer than 500 years. The Roman Empire was like.
It had ended in a bloodbath.
So everyone died.
Yeah, everyone
Then,
died,
like,
right?
a few, 100 years later, everybody moved to England, and then you wanted Israel back, so, everybody went and crusaded everyone
it was
in
bizarre.
Israel.
Yeah.
That's what your
It's
high
like
school
a
crazy
ton of
path of high school.
transcontinental trade going on, you know. No, but
All
it's
while
like,
you're in high school. That's crazy.
yeah, nuts. I mean, I graduated with 750 people, which
Wow.
is I guess it's Stanford because so many people are private school that it's that's a lot of people, but also
It is.
we had a smaller school for DFW, for Dallas.
I graduated with 63 people.
Yeah, so that's close.
It's close to 750.
Myers was
Graduated.
homeschooled. I don't know what he's talking about right
You have 63
He graduated
brothers and
with
sisters.
63 sisters.
Siblings,
That's,
yeah.
that's a lot of siblings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick though.
Those
One,
cousins.
one parent couple, my parents,
Yeah.
63 siblings. Isn't that crazy?
At that point,
Wow.
you're just converting bedrooms into classrooms.
yeah.
Your parents' bedroom is the
They just
principal's
ran a
office.
private school.
It's not a
only
it's not a
for
house. It's a hostel.
It's a
a bunch of sleeping beds.
everyone just sleeps wherever they can find a spot.
Every
It's
kid
like
knew not to
everyone's
answer the
running
door
around.
from government
At the end of the day,
representatives.
they just ring a bell.
Dude,
You're
the other day-
bedtime, and you just like lay down where you're at. It's like
The other
musical
day-
chairs. Some people have to sleep outside. So
my
if you're inside, you're lucky.
The other day, my friend, this is crazy. I didn't even know this was possible. This is about to be a little TMI. My friend met they weren't twins, but they were in the same grade, but they were born like 3 or 5 months apart.
Ooh.
So like the mom produced an egg that was fertilized while she was pregnant, like a second
Whoa.
egg. I didn't even know that was
No
possible.
way.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's also nuts, man.
So one of them came out, and the other
literally
was like,
gave birth.
"Give me a couple more
A
months."
few more months later,
That's
she
wild.
gave birth again.
That's
And
incredible.
They don't
I've
look alike
never
at
heard
all.
of that.
I've never heard of that in my life.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, they're freshmen at San Francisco.
So if they're paternal
Sam Edens.
twins, fraternal twins, and then what are those?
I mean, they're not considered twins; they're just siblings.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Do they look like a lot alike?
No, they don't look alike at all.
No way.
It's also crazy to think that you would like give birth and then 3 months later give birth again. That would
Yeah.
suck.
That would
I
suck.
mean, giving birth once sucks.
Yeah.
So,
That's wild.
twice in a
I
year.
would know.
Twice in 3 months.
We would know. Giving birth
Sheesh,
sucks.
man. I hated when I gave birth that first time.
Yeah, I kind of want to mansplain that. Is that all right?
Let's go there. Let's go
So
there.
birth.
Is when. But yeah. So like, I feel like going back to the high school thing.
Oh yeah.
I feel like all the like, I just remember people being popular in like 8th grade, freshman year, sophomore, junior, senior. Everyone in my high school just went to like all these different little boroughs and communities.
Sure.
And so
Right.
there wasn't like that like one group, but I would say I was definitely. It's hard to be popular in a class of 750. I ran for Stuco president, which
Okay.
helped my
Wow.
street cred sophomore year.
Did you win?
I didn't win. Well, it's because the
Freaking Quinn Ewers, that idiot.
Ewers, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he brought all the cheerleaders out and they did a cheer for him. I was
Like making out with all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, golly, Quinn. No, but
Man,
I was like,
tough.
I was never like popular by any means. I would have considered myself a nomad.
Okay.
Like, I didn't have a friend group really, like a set friend group. I would just bounce around to like 10 different friend groups and just be
I
at
was-
different things with.
Similar to that. I had
Yeah.
like a small friend group I would go and hang out with. I graduated at 3:30, so it was like half.
Yeah,
it's
there you
not
go.
really like,
Yeah,
but it was
still big.
definitely big enough to where, like, there was probably like 150 of us that
Yeah.
like would hang out,
Yeah,
or that would like that. You know, the reach,
Right,
the
yeah.
capacity of reach was like 150 people, and there would be some times we hung out in the parking lot where we would get like, I don't know if that's true. We got like a lot of people though
okay.
that would come.
Like you know of everybody, but you don't know everybody in the grade.
Yeah. Then there was some dark corners.
There you go,
There's some
there you go.
freaking weird people
Yeah.
that I went to high school with.
There you go. Yeah.
That's another thing where it's like, I feel like even in 750, I bet there was like 300 kids that were just freaking weird that you never like saw or interacted with.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, like
No, for real.
there's a lot of just
I
like,
once saw a kid. I turned around a corner and there was a kid riding a skateboard down the hallway, and I was like, "You can do that here?" Like just those little corners, you know, like you. Yeah.
yeah, skateboarders. Those freaking
There was like a
weirdos.
skateboarder going by, and then
Yeah.
like a girl dropped her books, and then like the jock walked up and picked him up.
That's what
And
high
then you
school's
turned around,
like,
there was a
Myers.
camera filming you.
That happened all the time. But yeah, no.
Myers,
definitely
that's a
no.
complete theoretical for Myers. He just really walked in.
Yeah, I've never been into a high school. I've never been 15 years old around other 15-year-olds doing schoolwork. Never.
great. That's
How
wild.
many people went to the high school that you went to? Isn't y'all's high school huge too?
Like 670?
Yeah.
660
Yeah, so it's still
Big boy.
ginormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gigantic?
I didn't have a friend group either. I had like 3 close friends that did not mix together. So I had to hang out with them individually. So I never had a birthday party because a birthday party for me would be like
That's
super strange.
Dude, that's how it was for me though too. You like you know people like it's just separate business.
Yeah.
You don't want to mix business.
I'm a completely different guy to these
Yeah,
different people.
Exactly.
Whoa.
I speak in Pig Latin to these guys, but
Completely different dialect.
this is the
I
British
love Pig
accent
Latin.
friend group.
I freaking love Pig Latin.
Yeah. Yeah. But just around those guys.
The other guys I dog on it.
Right.
All right, guys. Hey, well, we've been going hour 53, so we're gonna call it. But
Thanks, guys.
this was
Hey.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Season 2, it's just so much freaking fun.
Thanks for letting us.
Fun.
Thanks for letting us yap, huh?
You're allowed to yap.
Hey,
This-
follow these guys' podcast, Yapping White Two Men.
Like guys,
Two
who
men who
yeah.
yap.
White guys who yap, yeah.
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 Yeah. We're big on Truth Social.
You can only find it on Discord.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Thank you
love
for having us.
guys.
This was awesome.
Word of mouth.
Bye.
Wow.
Bye.